On March 21st, 2026, Musk went on stage in Austin, Texas and announced his next ambitious project called Terafab. What exactly is Terafab? If I break down the name itself, Tera means a terawatt. That's the amount of compute he wants to generate. And Fab means a fabrication unit. That's where the chips are designed and produced. This is an extremely ambitious $25 billion project where three of his leading organizations, SpaceX, Tesla, and xAI. Now, SpaceX and xAI are merging, so they are just one organization. But Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI all are coming together and investing in this particular project. It's that pivotal to all the three organizations. Let's see why. The problem that Terafab is trying to solve has never been tackled before. The first ever factory for semiconductor manufacturing where every single process of a semiconductor design is under the same roof. They have chip design, fabrication, lithography, packaging, and testing. Everything solved. But why do something so ambitious and not just take the solution that are already available? Like NVIDIA is already designing chips, TSMC is already the cutting edge fabrication unit of the entire world, ASML is already producing lithography machine. Why target all these organizations and do it on your own rather than just going to them and then buying from them? The problem here is that Musk has already mentioned to all these organizations that he is going to take all the output that these organizations generate, but they don't have enough capacity to what Musk's demands are. Musk is claiming that he would require 1 terawatt worth of compute in the next 2 to 3 years, which is not even close to what these organizations are able to supply. Just to give you a perspective, the entire world currently consumes 20 gigawatt worth of compute. What Tesla and SpaceX combined require in the next 2 to 3 years would be 1 terawatt of compute. That's 50 times the compute that world is consuming today, just needed for these two organizations. But the question is, where will this much amount of compute go? Let's say if you have 1 terawatt worth of compute, I would ask Musk, where are you going to use this? The answer differs for every company that he has. For Tesla, he requires the compute and chips for two major things. Number one is Optimus and number two is the full self-driving cars. As you know, chips are needed for every single thing. The camera that I'm recording this in, the phone that you're watching this in, every single device including cars and door handles require chips. And very sophisticated tools like Optimus robot and full self-driving cars require high-end compute and a lot of it. The current design for Tesla robotaxis and all the other Tesla models that are coming up next requires AI-5 chips, and similarly for Optimus they require a lot of chips. For SpaceX on the other hand, there are two different set of problems that compute will be able to solve. Number one is xAI. If you are aware about xAI, Grok, it's an LLM model just like Gemini, ChatGPT, all of those. To train and to run that model, you require a bunch of chips. Currently, xAI is leveraging NVIDIA chips heavily, but they want to reduce that chip dependency on NVIDIA and leverage more homegrown chips. Just to give you a scale, Grok is currently running on 2 Colossus data centers, and those data centers are 100,000 chips each, or 100,000 GPUs in this case. Right now they are leveraging NVIDIA GPUs, but they want to switch to homegrown GPUs. And the second most ambitious plan Musk has currently is to put compute on space and have space data centers. Having data centers in space not only sounds fancy but solves a lot of problems. Because if you think about major problems in data centers, there are two primary models any data center will have to target. Number one is cooling and number two is energy. When you have a data center in space, both of those problems become easier to solve. Because in space, if you know, sun never sets. You have 24/7 solar availability. That's the energy problem solved right there. And the second one is cooling problem. The cooling cost in space is almost zero because space itself is extremely cool. So now that you have a base understanding of why so much compute is needed and how Tesla and SpaceX are going to use this compute, you will have a rough understanding of why Terafab itself is needed. But because it's needed doesn't mean that it's easier to solve. And there is a reason why such an attempt has never been done before. All of these organizations tackle just one problem at a time. For example, NVIDIA just tackling the designing part, Intel just tackling the designing part, Apple just tackling the designing part, TSMC tackling the fabrication part, ASML tackling the lithography part, so on and so forth. So let's look at some of the challenges that Musk might face in this attempt. The biggest challenge that he will be facing is the amount of talent. Because these technologies require immense amount of technical knowledge, there is a real shortage of talent and people who actually understand how designing, fabrication, all of these units work in themselves. And because of this, he will have to face a talent war halfway across the globe in Taiwan. Because Taiwan has the maximum amount of technical people in semiconductor industry because of TSMC. And the wars have actually started, and the news are coming in where Musk has started to poach some of the people from Taiwan. But because talent is in such a short supply, all of these organizations, including Intel, AMD, all the competitors who are working on chips and chip designing, require those people. And the people working in this area cannot be trained overnight. The second is the scale itself. The actual land that is going to be required here is going to be 100 million square feet. That is going to be at least 20 times bigger than the current existing Tesla gigafactories. There is going to be real benefit in keeping everything under one roof, where the iterations and the error margins and the feedback loops are going to be super tight. But the challenge here is to actually hire people and integrate all of those things all under one roof. I hope you found this helpful. Comment and let me know how can I improve, and subscribe for more such videos.